Thank you for watching Channel Samson Strength. I'm Samson, coming to you today with another creepy crab alert. This time it's a big giant crab, maybe the biggest one, the government. I could write a book about this, but a couple of things popped up in the news that I just wanted to touch base on. The first one, in the good old US of A, the FDA, there's this back channel that essentially allows drug companies to turn supplements into drugs. So there's this drug or potential drug called Endari, and it's for sickle cell disease, and it's comprised of L-glutamine. Now, right now, you can get L-glutamine in bulk for $10. But if the company who is coming out with this drug, and the company is Emmaus Medical Incorporated, not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, well, they filed an investigational new drug application, and if they can show that L-glutamine hasn't been on the market before 1994, they can actually get the FDA to remove glutamine supplements from the market, and this drug Endari would then be essentially the only form of L-glutamine that you would be able to buy. And of course, it would be prescription-based, and the price of that drug would be about $40,000 a year. So absolutely crazy. It's an end around. It's a back channel. It actually happened before to a medically important version of B6, and with the FDA's approval of a new drug, in this case to treat sickle cell, this back channel could strike again, and the FDA could literally take away L-glutamine. I used to use it all the time. I mean, it's in all of my stuff. It's in my protein shakes and my training supplements and all that sort of thing. And it's just crazy that the government could do that. That the FDA could do something like that. Now, the next story, and I'll link to this below, comes from the good old from the UK, our friends across the pond. Now, Britain is actually the second least free country in Europe, according to the Nanny State Index. So what they're trying to do in an effort to reduce childhood obesity is mandate calorie caps, okay? And this would be in restaurants and at grocery stores, and it would apply to basically everything: pizza, sandwiches, cooking sauces, pies, processed meats. So, it's not mandatory right now. They're just going to be guidelines, but you know how it goes. If businesses don't fall in line, they're going to legislate it, and it's going to be mandatory. The public health minister, Steve Brine, declaring, quote, willing to do whatever it takes to keep children healthy and well in this country. I always thought that was a parent's job, but what do I know? I'm just a white male. So the majority of pizzas and pies available at popular chain restaurants in Britain would violate that mandate, and it's pretty crazy. Now, my feelings on this are really very simple. And if you're following a diet, and here's some advice, and the Samson Skinny, right? Don't mix fats and carbohydrates. Eat protein every time you eat. But if you follow that 90% of the time, you're not going to be any better off than if you followed it 100% of the time. That means that you have a 10% leeway to do whatever you want to do. So my question to myself whenever I pick up a fork is, what's my motivation? 90% of the time, it's got to be compliant eating. And if it is, I can be motivated by taste and feelings. Buy something, eat something that tastes good, the cheeseburger. I'm not going to go get a cheeseburger wrapped in lettuce served with, fat-free cheese or something like that. Or how about like reduced fat, sugar-free sorbet? Taking something that is not supposed to be healthy, turning it into something that maybe isn't quite so unhealthy so that you can eat it all the time. That's the point. This stuff isn't to eat all the time, right? So when I want to eat ice cream, I'm compliant 90% of the time. I can eat Breyer's double churned extra creamy ice cream. I can make my milkshakes, my malts, with heavy whipping cream instead of skim milk. Like, what's the point? So that's my advice. We don't need the government to come in and tell us how to do these things. And as we lose freedom, we lose choices, we lose all kinds of stuff. And believe you me, the government does not know what they're doing when it comes to this stuff. And I'm going to make a whole nother video about the food pyramid and the history of that and some other really crazy stuff that's happened. But for now, calorie caps, something probably not very necessary in Old Testament times. They were probably more worried about getting enough calories. So keep it here with Samson Strength. Thank you for watching. Check out my social media pages, and we'll see you next time.